All right. Hello, everybody. This is Daniel Higgins coming to you live. This is going to be short and sweet. I just wanted to jump on here real briefly. And this week, Monday, is my dad's birthday. He did pass away several years ago, about 4 years ago. And of course, he's on my mind this whole week. So I just wanted to share something that is, you know, probably not unique just to me, just to share and encourage anybody else. So my dad by trade was a welder. So for anybody who's jumping on here, this is Daniel coming to you live. So my dad was a welder, and he spent a lot of time, away from home working extremely hard, like a lot of people are right now, trying to make things work with everything that's going on in this world. So I hope everybody can see and hear me okay. And I mean, he was able to provide for our family, which is amazing, but creating wealth and closing that wealth gap, escaped him. He didn't have a tool, he didn't have something that he can tap into that he'll be able to do that with, right? So, like most people, he was actively working very hard. He was a hard worker, and my dad did a lot for our family. Okay, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. So, a lot of Americans are doing exactly what they're supposed to do. They're working their jobs hard, they're doing everything they can to put food on the table and just to help their families. But in terms of creating wealth and closing that wealth gap, they don't have an opportunity or a tool that will help them get there. I love my dad with a passion, and I miss him immensely. And of course, thinking of all the great times that we've had over the years, does warm my heart. And looking back at how hard he worked, I remember how often he was gone because of the fact that he was a welder. So he had traveled and been away from home very often. He would actually be on these big rigs doing all the welding work, right? So he spent years doing that. It took a toll on him, it took a toll on his body, right? That's another big thing. As you work aggressively, you do surrender your health in some of these professions, right? So he did what he was supposed to do. He provided for our family, but he didn't have a tool to help close the wealth gap. And that is what we're doing with Karatbars International. We are closing that wealth gap, creating generational wealth. That's something that he wasn't able to do because he didn't have a tool to help him do that. He was working a job, nothing against a job. It can help finance your freedom, but that alone will not create generational wealth. We're looking at what's going on in the world. We're experiencing that now. On my LinkedIn, I see a lot of people are looking for work, okay, because their jobs have been closed down due to this crazy pandemic that's going on, right? And due to the global shift. So our economy has shifted. What we're doing has shifted, and you got to shift with it so that you too can create wealth and close that wealth gap. All right. So I encourage you, get back with whoever sharing Karatbars International with you. They absolutely have your best interests at heart. Get back with the person sharing this with you immediately. If you're watching this on my Periscope, which I'm streaming to now, go straight to my website, Kickstart Your Dreams. Start closing the wealth gap. Maybe you might identify with what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, my dad did pass away from cancer. He did all he was supposed to do. He wasn't able, in my opinion, to really enjoy his retirement because his health wasn't there with him, right? So he spent all this time at the job, and towards the tail end could not enjoy his retirement from my point of view, just due to the health challenges. So do what you can to close the wealth gap for your family. Visit kickstartyourdreams.net if I'm sharing this information with you, but get back with whoever is sharing this with you. We absolutely want to put you in position to close the wealth gap for your family. How are we doing that? We get paid to save an asset. We get paid to save physical gold. That's what we do. We don't have anything to sell. Every other business model, I understand you're used to someone trying to sell you something. Completely understand that. I've been getting paid to save for approaching 5 years next month. Okay. So I'm encouraging you to get paid to save. All right. So get back with the person sharing this with you. If that person is me, especially if you're on my Periscope, jump on kickstartyourdreams.net. This is Daniel Higgins signing off. My dad, love him. He took his time to provide for our family. He worked as hard as he could, but working a job is not enough now to create generational wealth. And it's never been a key to create generational wealth. And it's definitely not a key for closing the wealth gap. All right. So get back whoever's sharing this info with you. And we'll see you live on the power call at 10:45 Eastern Standard Time. Stay tuned for that information on my Facebook page.